Oh, baby. Back in the lounge.
Let's go,
in the
baby.
lounge. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the pregame lounge.
Let's go.
Oh, my God. We are presented by Miller Lite. Always Miller time. Bet365 Never Ordinary as well. Stoked to be here, getting you guys set for Nuggets Raptors. And Bruce Brown is back in town for a second time this year. We get an extra dose of Bruce Brown in our lives. How lucky are we? How lucky are we?
Somebody said that Bruce Brown, he just was in the chat. Bruce Brown chose $50 million over a dynasty. And let me tell you, I would have too.
No, smart man.
What a genius.
He actually didn't even really have the choice of coming back to Denver, to be honest.
I'm Harrison Wynn, joined by Brendan Vogt.
What's up, fellas? Ready to get back after it, and you guys are going to be stoked for this game note section. Leave a little room for the game note section.
Should I?
Just because the injury report is going to take a bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
We will keep that in mind. Also joined by Eric Weedham.
That's right, guys. Not even a little bit recovered from the takeover. Still in a very bad place. Took a nap a little bit ago, and then I woke up and I've been mainlining sugar. So, hope everyone had fun.
How long did the takeover last until?
Well, it actually changes because there was a daylight savings.
Yeah, it's
So it kind of-
it's actually
If you count that or not.
it's actually incalculable.
Thank you, Dev, but I was just thinking like 2 a.m., 3 a.m.
Incalculable.
It's hard to tell.
All right, that's Superstar Dev over there.
That was a good takeover. That was one of my favorite takeovers. I even stayed out.
I was blown away. That's why I went out. I was like, Dev's going? I have to do this.
I did hear some rumblings that the takeover lasted beyond the DNVR bar.
Yes, when we went to the Squire. It was a classic retro takeover vibes. And again, I'm ruined by it.
All right. I love to hear that. So Nuggets Raptors, Bruce Brown in town again tonight. He was here with the Pacers and got his ring. He's back with the Raptors. And game notes. What do we got?
Let's start with the injury report, fellas, because it is relevant. Scotty Barnes for Toronto is out. Left-hand fracture.
Okay.
RJ Barrett was probable. He is available despite an illness. Bruce Brown was questionable with right knee inflammation. Brucey B will play. Chris Boucher.
If there was any doubt. I mean,
Come on.
He hasn't played in a while though, right? Like this is his first game back. I feel
is
like.
it?
Yeah.
Oh, he was ramping up for this one.
I mean, they may have activated him just because they literally need to field a team because we got a lot more to go here. So again, Scotty Barnes is out. RJ and Bruce will play. Chris Boucher is out, right knee contusion. I know everyone's favorite player, DJ Carton, is out.
Sure.
3-and-D guy.
Jakob Portal is out. Emmanuel Quickley is out. Gary Trent Jr. is out. To recap, that's Scotty Barnes, Chris Boucher, Jakob Portal, Emmanuel Quickley, Gary Trent Jr. are not playing tonight for the Toronto Raptors.
It's like their entire starting lineup.
Dude.
It's a lot. It's a lot. For Denver, DeAndre Jordan is questionable with an illness. I actually have not seen yet if he's available. I'll go try to find that.
Probably not the most pertinent.
Probably
issue.
not the most. That's why, it was a little lower on the back burner there of priorities. And then the G League fellas, Braxton Key, Jalen Pickett, Hunter Tyson, they're with the team. But the Nuggets starters are ready to go in what we can call what do we call these? The last second trap games, the oh no one's playing games. Obviously, guys, Denver, it's going to be about their energy tonight. And Michael Malone spoke on that. He does like the way they've been playing. He said, I love the way we've been playing. It's if we can sustain that level of play that we've had, not just because we're 8-1, but because I think since the break, we are number 4 in defense and number 2 in offense. You can be top 5 in both. You have a chance to be elite. That's a fact, especially when you have the best player in the world. He loves the way they've been playing out of the break, but obviously he wants them to bring the same consistent energy tonight that they would any other night against any other team, and as if this team was healthy.
Since the break, the Nuggets are 2nd in offense, 6th in defense. I think they slipped a little after they just stopped trying against the Jazz the other night.
Yeah, he mentioned number 4 in defense, but I think he's wrong on that. You're right. And then number 2 in offense. So again, if you can be top 5 in both, which they've essentially been, you have a chance to be elite. As you may have imagined, he fielded some questions on Bruce Brown. And he said, what happened with Bruce in Denver is the way it should be. He came here, he helped us win a championship, and because of the run that we had, he auditioned for 29 other teams. And he got paid. I love Bruce Brown. He's a huge part of winning a championship. He'll always be a part of that first ever championship team in Denver. I think both a clap on the back for Bruce Brown, and then maybe a reminder to any other potential free agents going forward. If you're looking for a short-term bet on yourself, it works well when you team up with Jokic.
Yeah.
He also spoke on what I can now call erroneous reporting from Chris Haynes about the Denver Nuggets skipping their trip to the White House because they're gunning for that win over the Wolves and ultimately the 1 seed. Michael Malone shot that down. He said, quote, contrary to recent reports, our whole goal is not being the number 1 seed. It's not why we canceled the trip to the White House. I don't know where these things come from. If we get the 1 seed, great. And I know you put on Twitter, Wind, a much more simple explanation of why they would be actually skipping this White House visit.
Yeah, it was so weird when he put that report out there because everything the Nuggets had been saying, except a couple players who, if you ask them, they're like, yeah, we want the 1 seed because I feel like that's just something natural that players shoot for. But everything Michael Malone had said over the last couple months even has been like, no, we want to be healthy. We don't care about the 1 seed. If we get it, great, but it's not our top priority. So I was always a little thrown off when that report was out there. But yeah, the reason they're not going is because, first of all, they were going to go to the White House when they played the Wizards back in January. That's when teams usually go, when they go to D.C. to play the Wizards. The White House said they couldn't go then. There was a scheduling conflict. The White House canceled that date. Then I think what I was told is the White House then gave them this new date of March 18th, which is an off day in between road games in Dallas on the 17th and Minnesota on the 19th. And the Nuggets were like,
why are we going to D.C.?
Why would we like divert on our one off day from Dallas to D.C. to go back to Minnesota? Like, that just doesn't make a lot of sense. So they're just not going. But I don't think it's because they're thinking about preparing for Minnesota more. It just doesn't make a lot of sense.
I also think this is the kind of thing that Michael Malone says a quote and he's the leader of the team and we go, okay, that's the approach. But has he actually talked about it with his team? Because as we've talked it to each player individually since, some of them will tell you, no, the goal is the 1 seed. You know, I don't know if this is really something where like the organization has a consensus. It might just be more of quotes from Malone and maybe there was a different quote from a player. Regardless, Malone shot it down. You explained it well there, Harrison. I've got 2 more for you. One more on Jokic's full court passes. If they've ever discussed them as a team, if Malone has any strong opinions on them. Malone said, I like when he completes the passes. I don't like when they're intercepted. He said, like any great quarterback, though, those interceptions happen. He says, look, the worst thing I can do is try to put a harness on Nikola. I go back to what my father said. This is now Brendan Malone on his lesson that he learned about Dennis Rodman in Detroit, saying, quote, you can't put a saddle on a Mustang, end quote. That's Brendan Malone on Dennis Rodman, and now Michael Malone on Nikola Jokic. I just thought that one was funny. And then lastly on Murray's shins, which are germane, really, to the close of the season here, and we haven't talked about it in a bit. The question was, is that problem fully behind him, the shin splints? And the answer was, I wouldn't say totally behind him. I think as we approach the finish line with 18 to go, it's something that we are very aware of, constantly talking to him and the staff to see where he's at. It's kind of a day-to-day thing.
Interesting. A lot of game notes there.
Yeah, man.
Anything stand out to you guys?
I mean, I'm surprised. It's barely a game.
I mean, we could just talk about game notes for the next 2 hours.
It is hilarious. I love that we're going to, like, every time. I hope every time Bruce Brown comes back, they just have to rehab. Be like, what did he mean to you? You're like, I don't know. The same thing he meant to us when he came with the Pacers, the Raptors. I was convinced we were going to get 3 or 4 more Bruce Brown returns.
Well, he should have gotten traded to somebody else.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, it was like a shock when Toronto didn't trade him. So, yeah, we should have gotten
Why did
one
they keep him?
Toronto's weird, man.
They were very weird at the deadline.
It just seems like they should be trading everybody for the last couple of years, but they never do. And then they lose Fred VanVleet for nothing, and maybe they'll lose Bruce Brown for nothing. I don't know.
Wild.
Let's get on to our next segment and talk about who's going to eat tonight, courtesy of Circle K and their Inner Circle Rewards program. Dev, who is going to eat tonight?
The player that eats is a very easy answer. It's Peyton Watson.
Whoa!
Peyton Swanson.
Look at the shirt. Look at the shirt.
He's going to have a big night. This is an opportunity for him to play a lot more minutes. That Toronto roster is bad right now. Very, very bad. I think that Denver gets up really big. So he'll have a lot more opportunity to get it going. So he's been playing well. I expect him to play well again.
Peyton Swatson, okay. It's a good one.
This Swatson.
D-line?
I kind of think Aaron Gordon's going to eat tonight. I kind of think they are. Toronto was a team that kind of had a little bit of sneaky size to them, and I guess I don't actually know who he's going up against tonight.
He could be going up against their mascot, the Raptor, for all we know.
Which we've seen is actually pretty formidable. He shut
he can
Booker
rattle
down.
some all-star talent.
He shut Booker down like pretty succinctly. So, but it just feels like this is a game where, like there's guys going to be shooting, but it's also like let's just get some baskets. Like, just yam it, would you please, AG? Just go.
Yeah. I mean, do you see this game going similar to how the Jazz game went?
I think so. It's funny because, like, man, the Nuggets, I hope none of us, I did, but I hope nobody else took statement week for granted, like how beautiful those games were. It is. Yeah. We are officially in Slogville. Like,
it took one game?
Dude, the
Pacer, it hasn't happened yet.
But this is like the Jazz.
Slogville.
Dude, we're in Slogville.
Once you go past Browntown, you get Slogville.
Eric hates the regular season.
Well, I don't hate the regular season, but I hate the part where, like, their teams have very clearly identified whether or not they are incented to win or lose moving forward.
Does it help that they're playing every other day? Do you think that'll keep them in a rhythm?
I mean, if they played the Raptors every other day, no. Like, not really. Right. I don't know. It's like this is going to have to be – we're going to learn a lot about the Denver Nuggets' approach and their internal motivation with some of these like crummier games coming up, because this is going to be just a test of where they are mentally. Like, can they just lock in and like shut these teams down? But I don't know. Slogtown, USA.
Vote. Who do you think is going to eat tonight?
Jamal Murray.
Yeah, definitely.
Full confidence. Why would that be?
I just have full confidence in him.
You have nothing else around it? You just really think it's a Jamal type of game?
I think
he's inspired?
I think he has all the motivation he needs tonight.
Okay.
I think that... who do I think is going to eat tonight? I'm going to go with Christian Brown. Yeah. I like Dev's thinking with Peyton Watson.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to take Peyton Watson, so I'll take the next best guy off the bench, Christian Brown. I think this is going to be a game Denver handles pretty easily. I think this game goes kind of similar to how the Jazz game went. There's going to be a lot of opportunity for bench guys to play really well. And I think Peyton Watson plays well. I think Christian Brown, who has been playing great since the All-Star break, he's defending at an elite level. His offense is coming along. Also, did you guys know that Christian Brown is shooting the exact same percentage that Bruce Brown shot last year from three?
I did, because you tweeted it out.
The exact same. 35.8%.
This is not to like say it's not good. Is he shooting the same amount of shot attempts?
No, he's not. But he's shooting the same percentage.
That's all I wanted to know. But he's making them. He's making them when he takes them. And you got to love that. And also, he did start off like not well, and he's starting to come on. So he could even surpass that if he continues to shoot the ball well. Also, Adams in the arena, he's not here. We might as well give a Christian Brown threes bet. So he gets to see it in person, but he didn't bet it.
All right. Well, we'll see if those predictions come to fruition tonight. Next up, Bruce Brown back in town again. I think for the last time this year. Maybe. I mean, we'll never say that for sure. But Bruce Brown with the Raptors. You are right. I think, Dev, you said he hasn't played in a while. He did not play in their last game, a loss to the Blazers, but he's back, and I assume starting for Toronto tonight. Bennett Durando of the Denver Post wrote this article this morning about Bruce Brown, and there's a little tidbit in there I wanted to bring to your guys' attention. Bruce Brown, it seems like he still wishes he was on the Nuggets.
Who wouldn't?
Apparently, Bruce Brown still watches Nuggets games on nights when they play, and his team doesn't. He's still active in the team group chat. He used to drink a glass of milk on team flights, so he texted a photo of him doing the same on the Pacers plane.
First of all,
at one point this season.
Strange behavior. Let's just strange behavior.
Also, guess what he showed up in tonight?
A cowboy hat.
Or just a Jokic jersey.
Avs jersey.
Oh, come on. Get out of here, Bruce. This is, man. What are we? We're talking about end of season awards. Most pandering?
Best panderer?
Best panderer? Dude.
You don't even have to anymore.
No, in fact.
Yeah, it's like we get it.
His is beyond pandering now. Like, he actually loves it.
He does. That's the wildest thing is that he's actually anti-pandering because he's probably enraging
the Raptors
fan base.
He also hasn't played well for them. Raptors fans have a very different perspective on Bruce Brown.
Isn't that funny, dude? Like,
especially we're in hockey in Canada. Like, he's on a Canadian team.
That's true.
He's wearing a hockey jersey.
Wearing an Avs jersey.
Yeah.
It's wild.
That's a
sweater.
Yo, well, that's
you
true.
look
Good
over.
call.
You look over after another 15-point loss, and Bruce is just getting his picture of his glass of milk just right, and you're like,
He's like, "Oh, I wonder what Joker's going to say about it this time."
Like, this guy.
Oh
man, if he was on my team, I'd be pissed. If I was a Raptors fan,
boy, you'd be pissed if you were a Raptors fan. Anyway.
Bingo, just stop it right there.
So Bruce, he has a $20 million team option for next year. I'm guessing that's going to be declined by the Raptors, and he's going to be a free agent again, and he'll secure more than $20 million on the open market. I guess that would be the thinking. Multiple years. What do we think the chances are that he comes back to Denver? Do we think it could be a possibility based on this latest detail about the milk?
I used to think no, because you would assume that someone would be so happy and just over it. Like if you were in a relationship and you left that relationship, even if it was good, but then you get with a rich person, your relationship should be so much better. You should be happy you don't think about your last relationship.
No, this is like when Anna Nicole Smith marries a 90-year-old guy and then is just like still communicating with her old boyfriend and stuff, like sending pictures of milk.
Vote.
The milk is such a funny detail.
Dude, it's so hilarious.
Have you ever texted a picture of a glass of milk to somebody else?
Have you ever? I've never seen you drink milk.
When I was when I was 5 through 10, I drank glasses of milk a lot.
I've always thought milk was so disgusting, man.
This came out in one of our drafts.
Guy.
Yeah. I like milk.
Oh yeah. Of course you're a milk guy.
Yeah, Kale, come on. No offense, dude. That's like, you should put that on a name tag, man. It's fine.
Duh.
Yeah.
Is Bruce Brown coming back to the Nuggets next year?
Probably not. I would guess. And I also think maybe Denver might be past it, right? Just they like Christian. They like Peyton. I think this could be something that it worked out just the way it needed to work out. And there's a chance these two parties don't come back together. Having said that, you do need some kind of long-term plan here for backup point guard. And Bruce can technically be that. Calvin Booth thinks he is one. I think that was a big part of why Bruce wanted to come here to begin with. So you could make that argument, but I would say I'm probably not holding my breath for a reunion.
Yeah. Here's what I'll say. I think if there's a chance the Nuggets can get Bruce Brown back for a dollar amount that they can afford, they'd bring him back.
Yeah, if they can get him back for milk money, not champagne money.
Granted, if they bring Bruce Brown back next year, it probably means like they lost a key piece that in aggregate makes them worse. But I think if there's a chance to bring him back, I'm pretty sure the Nuggets would explore that. Absolutely. So we'll see. Let's get to a little awards watch. Let's check in on some end of season awards. There's been so much. There's been so much less talk about awards this season.
Great point.
Than last year.
Because you know why?
I mean, yeah, but
because it's not fueled by our deepest recesses of the fractures in our society this time. Now it's just like, who's actually better this year?
I don't know. I think it's more so like it's just not that season yet. Like I think it'll get close to that.
You think so?
Soon. Also, there was like the battle between bigs. Now it's like not a big. It's a big versus a guard. And like, I mean, I think Jokic is just playing way too well. But the award season talk is going to come back when it comes to just players not being able to meet those like 65
games, yeah.
So that will come into it. So like, don't think it's just gone. It's gonna come back.
It's definitely thrown a wrench into.
Yeah, but it's gone. But it's not. I mean, like I feel like it bottomed out in so many ways last year, and I feel like everybody is like worse for it. They just don't. I don't feel like anybody has it in them anymore to fight for the MVP until. I mean, you're right. It's going to come up, but I just don't think that the people have it like deeply ingrained in like what they're fighting for something deeper than what they're talking about when it comes to MVP and the other awards. So we'll see.
Yeah. Also, with the awards, besides the MVP, which I kind of feel is locked up, everything else is like virtually locked. Like the favorite is so far ahead that it's like tough to even have a discussion or argument about it. So I think that will change as well.
Yeah.
It almost seems like a lot of the conversation was more about who should be second or third. You know?
Yeah.
Like why SGA or Luka ended up somehow in more of a head-to-head convo than Jokic with either of those guys. Mm-hmm. There is, and I kind of think part of it is that Denver, with the championship now and the way the last few years have gone, there's just that 5% bump in the benefit of the doubt in all these conversations, right? The same, like they have a little NBA royalty to them now, and Jokic does as well. And so it's almost easier for the conversation to be about two guys who haven't won anything yet, as opposed to Jokic, who kind of, his argument is almost airtight.
Yeah, let's look at MVP first here. Jokic, the favorite, as has been the case for the last several weeks at minus 190. SGA, based on these odds, is really the only other guy in the conversation. Luka's third at plus 700, then Giannis, and then I don't think Anthony Edwards is minus 190.
I was like, Jesus.
It's like head-to-head with Jokic, right?
He's plus 10,000, actually.
Yeah, plus 10,000.
So, Dev, you think Jokic is pretty much locked up the MVP?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, SGA's argument is that he's the best player on the number one team out west. But the Nuggets are in second. They're like right there that it makes it like, okay, but the numbers are not close. Jokic is on the second best team. They're the defending champions. He is the reason that they're in this position. So I think that even if SGA does get first, if Denver failed to like 5 or 6, then I think it will push it for him. But I just don't see that happening. So I think Jokic has it locked.
Yeah, I think the only way it gets interesting is if the Thunder get the 1.
Yep.
Then I think people are going to feel inclined to vote for him, for SGA.
Yeah, but even then, if Denver closes this stretch with even a little bit of responsibility, statement week went the way we want it to, fellas, and not just locally, but nationally. Did you see, the NBA does their power rankings, and it's not that they're important, but they jumped Boston, right? They're the number one team. If we've listened to the national pods this week, it's all, look, it's Denver, and then there's a gap, right? And so I don't know. I just think there's... Like Dev said, it's not like there's a 7-game gap between first and second. Denver's right there, and Jokic and the Nuggets were so good on that stretch in national TV. I think barring something wonky or particularly unfortunate, I think Jokic has this.
Let's go to Coach of the Year real quick. And Mark Daigneault, who preseason was one of the favorites, the head coach of the Thunder, he seems like the heavy favorite to win this. Chris Finch, second at plus 400, tied with Joe Mazzulla. I think this is going to be Daigneault in kind of a runaway.
Yeah, I think the only thing here is if Minnesota is able to somehow continue winning, there's going to be an argument of, like, what have you done for me lately?
And especially with no Towns, too.
Exactly. Right. Like, that's the biggest part about it. But what the Thunder is doing is incredible because when you look at that team, they have SGA, and then just a bunch of guys. Yeah. Like, Chet's really good, but he's, like, going to be good. He's, not all the way there right now. There's a lot of okay players on that team, and then a really good player who's not even quite a superstar quite yet. So, like, what he's doing is remarkable. I think that this is an easy win for him.
One name not on there, though.
It disgusts me. Why? What does he have to do? Is it just everybody – it's just so – everyone just – looks at Jokic as like the shadow coach or something, and like
I think that's
every one of Malone's accomplishments gets swept under the rug. It's crazy, honestly. Like the way that Malone has handled this team in so many ways, it just like truly boggles my mind. I don't know what the guy has to do.
I don't remember what year it was now, fellas, but he finished, I believe it was third. He was a finalist that year that Budenholzer won it, and I felt like he had such a good chance that year. And once he didn't get it, I kind of felt like what you just said was going to take hold. Like Denver is associated with Jokic.
It's like you have your window to win it, and then if you don't win it in that window, your team's just too good.
He's too good, right? He's coaching the best team and the best player.
If Malone doesn't, I mean, he's not going to get it. But if he doesn't get it and his team is second in the West after just winning a championship, he is never going to get it.
Or why won't they be? I think that they'll be first. Like,
even if they get first, he's not going to jump 6 guys. They're still going to give it to those other 2. So, like, he has no chance to ever win this award.
It'd be pretty
Why?
funny.
And-
I need an explanation.
And
I
it's
think,
funny.
I think what you said is the truth.
You could also argue too that this year's a really strong. The Nuggets have missed 16 games from Jamal Murray. That's not small, man.
Right.
Like how many? That's for your second best player, your second most important player. That's significant. And the Nuggets are, what are they? Full or half game out of first entering tonight. I mean, they're right there, and they're probably going to finish with the 1 seed again anyway.
Dude,
But
they would have to beat the Bulls record for him to
Right.
win it. Like, it's not like franchise best or anything. They would have to break a real record from Malone to get
It's so wild,
that.
man.
So, I mean, it's. I don't think it's ever going to happen.
Did Steve Kerr win when the Warriors were? He probably did, right?
Yeah,
Like,
he had to. I mean, they had the record.
maybe,
I'm not sure. We can look
It
into
might have
that,
been the
though.
same thing though, man. Like it could have been that.
Like,
same-
oh,
Yeah,
just
it
give
could-
it to
yeah.
Budenholzer.
Another
you always
team-
like who had a team in a top 3 seed, but they had no business being a top 3 seed. Like that's kind of
Yeah, that is always the argument.
yeah.
All right, let's get out our phones, fire up the Bet365 app. Let's win some money tonight, Dev.
We did really good last game, Harrison. Let me just tell you that right now.
Let's do good again
We
tonight.
plan on doing it again tonight. Denver comes into this game as 17-point favorites.
17.
What were they against the
17.
Jazz?
15 and a half,
Wow.
or 13 and a half or something
So-
like that.
yeah,
so
They
it
got
went up
it. It was
significantly.
It was very easy. 17 and a half is like, wow. I was super confident in that game. I mean, they're saying they're not fighting for the number 1 spot. They are not going to have to in this game. Like, it's back-to-back mid-level teams, even worse than mid. Like, this is going to be hard to lock in the entire time. I would just stay away from that one. I do think that they're going to play well. I think they're going to blow them out. But 17, it could be a back. Like, at the end of it, you could just have them catch up. I don't like that. I'm going to go over 231 on the total. Everyone scores on Toronto. Portland just put up 131 points against them.
Portland.
This comes down to if Denver wants to score 140, like they just did. So I'll go with the over 231. I could see why some people wouldn't want to bet on the over 231, just due to Toronto's side of things. So we'll say if you could get behind this one, Denver 123 on the total props, over 123. I think that they're going to get that. I think they're going to be able to score. So that's one that I would do. Their offense is just humming right now. For Toronto, let's go with over 26.5 point rebounds and 6 for Olynyk. Let's go with under 13.5 points for Grady Dick. I've been in enough relationships to know that just Dick doesn't just show up every single time. It doesn't show up well every single time.
No.
So,
Wow.
That's
yeah,
for
I would,
sure.
Very
I would
humble
just go
relationship.
under.
Speaking from personal
Yeah.
I was
experience?
going to
I
say,
wouldn't be talking about someone else.
Very
you know,
humble.
like,
Very
just-
humble of you.
But
Yeah.
just a pronoun refresher. Grady Dick is not an it. He's a guy. So when you say it doesn't,
You
show
don't know
up-
what he identifies as. For Denver, let's go with over 2.5 3-pointers for Michael Porter Jr.
Hell yeah.
They just keep giving this option. We're just going to keep on taking the option. It's very easy. He gets it every single time. Let's also go over 2.5 threes for Jamal. I like for Aaron Gordon to get over 9.5 rebounds and assists. So that combination. The assists are going up. He's rebounding well. Let's go with over 9 assists for Jokic. I like Jamal to get over 21.5 points. He had 21 in the first half last game.
He did.
21.5. And for our lock, I got the shirt on, man. It's a Peyton Watson game.
Let's go.
We're going to go over 1.5 blocks plus steals, which means it's
some
Peace
stocks.
Watt. We need Peace Watt, some stocks. That's our bet every
Yo.
single time that we like. Adam is really big on if they get 2, then I just think that they get it. So I think that he gets it in this one. So P Watt over 1.5 steals plus blocks is the one.
I'm just looking at this Bruce Brown picture again. He's also wearing an Avs hat.
Yeah, dude. He actually might be angling to get on the app.
Right. Maybe he's just an Avs fan more than anything else.
I don't think he wants to rejoin the Nuggets. I
Right.
think he wants to be part of the app.
He's hitting Popeye Jones up on the
He's
side.
not an Avs guy. He's just a ball arena guy.
Right. Big ball arena
Just
guy.
loves the arena.
Loves the mammoth. like
Dialed
the
into
rest
the
of us.
concert schedule.
Yeah, dude.
He's got the whole thing.
Shows up
Christina-
for the monster truck thing every year.
Christina Aguilera, he's front row.
Yeah. It's all about ball arena. All right. We good? Thanks,
pretty
Dev. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Excited for Nuggets and Raptors. Talk to you in, hopefully, the Winners Lounge. See ya.